Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. Now, this one is a request from Lightheworld. You can probably tell from the time that we are starting. Now, there's a bit of a story with this one. There was a bit of a fuck up. And yeah, there's no getting away from it, so I'll tell the whole thing. In fact, actually, before I start that, let's start with the choices that were not affected by any fuck up. So yeah, the specifics. This is set in winter. It's set in clear weather, and we are starting at 4:30 p.m. So we've got reasonable-ish light considering it's winter, but it is starting to turn. By the time we reach our destination, it will be pretty dark, I think. And as far as the train, I'm far from proud to admit it, but yes, I did get an Armstrong Powerhouse thing. So yeah, our train is a class 803. He did specifically ask for the Lumo livery, which is a good job because the 803 only has the Lumo livery. So yeah, there we go. It's also only 5 cars, so I mean he didn't specify, you know, how many cars, which is a good job. But yeah, so 5 car class 803 Lumo. And the destination, so this was where the fuck up came. So originally he asked for stuff which all looked like it was pretty straightforward on the Great Eastern Main Line, and we would be going into London Liverpool Street. All fine. The starting point though really threw me because he asked for Sheffield. Now I suspect there's a fair few of you watching this who don't need me to tell you that Sheffield is certainly not on the Great Eastern Main Line. Not only that, but there are no lines that will take you from Sheffield to London Liverpool Street. You know, if you're coming from Sheffield, your London stopping point is King's Cross, whether you like it or not. So I asked him to, you know, if he could be a bit more specific, because yeah, that route he chose just didn't make any sense and couldn't be done. And he did get back to me, and what he said was something I suspected was the case, which was that he meant Shenfield to Liverpool Street, which is fine, but he did also say that he wanted it to start in daylight and finish at dusk. Well, Shenfield to Liverpool Street is quite a short journey, and in order for me to be able to start in daylight and finish at dusk, I would have needed to average about 5 miles an hour. And again, I pointed this out to him. So he basically said, right, you choose whatever route you like. And, you know, all he was really interested in is he wanted to see the 803. So, yeah, that's fine. He did say he would prefer a route that has not yet appeared. Well, I do have some, but the problem is none of them are electrified. So, yeah, it rather rules out the Class 803. So then I had a brainwave. This is a route that has actually appeared in several videos, at least 4. So we're on West Coast Main Line South, and we are going to do the entire length of this route. But despite the fact that we have done, say, 4 videos at least on this route, we've never driven out of Euston. And in fact, not only have I never done it in any of the videos, I've never done it in the game. So I thought, okay, yeah, we'll have a first. I've also never done the full length of the West Coast Main Line South route where we are arriving at Birmingham. They've always been starting at Birmingham New Street and going back to London Euston, but I've never done it this way. So yeah, we will get the chance to leave London Euston and arrive at Birmingham New Street, and it'll be the first time I've ever done it playing this. Now, we're going to run it as an express service. That doesn't always mean non-stop, and it doesn't mean non-stop in this case either. So we're not going to have a huge number of stops, but we will stop at Milton Keynes, at Rugby, at the very misnamed Birmingham International, and then Birmingham New Street. So including the final station, there are only going to be 4 stops on a route that is something like 115 miles. So we will certainly get the chance to, see how fast the 803 can accelerate. Obviously it's not going any faster than 125 mph, even though it's a train that can easily go over that speed. So anyway, that is the setup. I'll also point out that this is one of those routes where sometimes you get these dodgy signals, and the ETA will be something like 14 hours. Hopefully it will not be the case with this one. So here we go. Okay, so on the 4th time of loading this, I've got, the ETA is as it should be, so yeah, no dodgy signals. So here we are in Euston, as you can clearly see, and here is our Class 803, complete with Lumo livery. 5-car train. So yeah, good looking thing. Does it perform as well as it looks? That's the big question. Well, first of all, we've got to set it up, and there is a bit of fannying around with the setup. So, right, master key on, and turn that to full forward. Right. Now, we are going to be running during some low light, so we will have the headlights on full. And we need to let the passengers on, which means, now, there is a bit of a, it is a bit shitty as far as the animation on the doors go. So first of all, I have to unlock them manually before I can actually open the doors. So, right, manually unlocked, and if we look out, okay, for once the doors actually did open. Often I don't see the animation of the doors opening. So that's an improvement. So we do have a fair few people getting on. Doors now shut. We are almost ready to go. Turn off the DRA. I will set the speed set because we can. There you go, that is on. Let's get underway. So speed set should ensure that we don't go over 15 mph, and indeed it is. And as we leave, you can see that it's not quite broad daylight, but the light is still good. Very much winter weather. We're about to enter a 25 mph zone, so we can increase the speed set once again. Now this 40 mph zone we're about to enter, as you can see, it is quite short because we are going to be switching rails. So it will be a 30 mph for the vast majority of the time. In fact, yeah, the whole of the time. And yeah, this is why. Except we are now coming up to a red signal. Which I'm about to go through. So there you go, I've got one SPAD error already. So that might be why the signals are always, or yeah, my ETA was so fucked up. Anyway, I've gone through it. Let's see what happens anyway. If the next signal is green, then no problem. But I am going to have a SPAD error against me. Yeah, see, the next signal is green. There we are. So let's set the speed set again. I've also got to switch it on again. So here we go. Now because this train is running in electric mode, the speed set is actually pretty good, as we now go up to 50. I've also forgotten to turn on the instrument lights. Oh no, they are on. But the 803, it is dual mode to a degree, but it's not electric or diesel. If there's no overhead electric supply, then the secondary power is using batteries. Now I don't know about you, but hearing that it's using batteries, the first couple of things I think of is, firstly, yeah, how much power does that actually give us? I suspect not much. And secondly, how long do these batteries last? Again, I suspect not very long. Now go up to 55. And once we reach the end of this tunnel and the entire train is out of the yeah, has passed the point where we can increase speed again, we will be able to go up to 80. So we are fast, you know, through a series of steps, reaching the maximum speed that we can do. So there's the 80 mph signal there, or the 80 mph trackside sign, I should say. So here we go. So up to 80. and in less than half a mile we can then take it up to 100. The acceleration rate of the 803, no surprise, it is really good. So we are in the 100. So why did I take the plunge and get an Armstrong Powerhouse pack when I make no secret of the fact that I hate them? Well, there is one big reason. Of all the high-speed trains I've got, there are two that will work absolutely fine on tracks that do not have overhead electrification. Now, they are the Class 43, obviously, because that's a diesel. In fact, the other one is obvious as well because it's a diesel, and that's the Class 221. But those are the only two that I have. And even though, you know, they are very much high-speed trains, once their speed gets into 3 figures, their acceleration rate is really not all that. So I really wanted the 802. I was rather miffed that of all of the 800 series that Dovetail Games put into this, it was the 801 which did not have the dual mode, and I did really want it, to the extent that in the end I thought, fuck it, let's do it. So I got it so that I could get the dual mode power. The really sad thing is this isn't even the only Armstrong Powerhouse pack that I will get. There is a second one that I will get, and it is for the Class 91, because even though I hate the secondary name that the Class 91 has, you know, that really misleading Intercity 225 name, it is a nice train to drive, or at least it would be, you know. But Dovetail Games' version of it is so awful that there was, it renders it unplayable. It is that bad. So I do want to be using the Class 91. I'm going to have to bite the bullet and get the Class 91 enhancement pack as well. So we are now thundering through Wembley Central. We are on rails that allow us to do 125, so we are really powering along here already. Now, all of the frames per second sort of loss that we've been seeing, as we get further outside London, obviously that will not affect us anything like as much. Now, I'm going on the assumption, well, actually it's more of a hope, that Mr. Lightheworld chose the Class 803 because he really likes the Lumo... Oh, why is it saying I was speeding? I must have been going downhill or something. I've got the speed set here. I shouldn't be able to speed. Anyway, yes, I was going on the assumption or the hope that Lightheworld wants the 803 because he really likes the Lumo livery, and not because it was the most up-to-date recent train that I have available. Because, well, it was for about 24 hours, but yeah, no longer. So I'm going to have to, yeah, throttle down. Setting it to 125 means that I'm speeding. That probably means I'm doing 125.6, I think. Which is, yeah, not great. So if I keep the throttle on at 61, does that mean we are going... Yeah, we will still increase then, so okay. And once we're up to 125, I'll drop the throttle and hope that it will maintain speed rather than continue increasing it. So anyway, yes, the 803 is no longer the most recent loco I have. I now also have the 805 and the 807. So if you're wanting, like, you know, bang up to date HSTs appearing in videos, then yeah, you've got those two that you can choose from as well. So, yep, we have our speed coming down to 110. Now, I should actually be able to leave this in 100%, because it shouldn't have us speeding from 110. In fact, chances are it's going to keep us at 109. Well, we'll soon find out anyway. So Watford Junction coming up next. We are going straight through there. As I say, our stops will be Milton Keynes, Rugby, Birmingham International and Birmingham New Street. So we got a fair old while before, well, a reasonable amount of time anyway, before our first stop at Milton Keynes. Now, as I mentioned earlier, several of these new 800 series variants that I've now got, I think the 800 itself, the 802 and the 805, they are dual mode. They do have the diesel engines as well as the electrification. It is fair to say that the performance under the diesel engine is underwhelming, shall we say. Yeah, the acceleration is really terrible. Top speed is 110. Now that's fine. You know, nothing wrong with 110 mph, but yeah, the acceleration is not great. Now I can actually take us up to 115. Kings Langley station coming up, and we are now entering the next 125 mph zone, which we are now in, so increase that again. There's no getting away from it. The speed set really does make driving these things a hell of a lot easier. Although, yeah, we have seen that once this thing reaches 125, I do still need to do some kind of throttle management. Otherwise, I am speeding again. Now, as good as the acceleration rate on this thing is, and you can't say it's anything other than great, it's not as good as in the original 801. Right, so let's drop throttle down to 50 and see what this does as far as our speed. Are we going to continue accelerating, or can we actually hold it? No, we can't hold it at 125. We have to increase speed slightly more to do that. I mean, 124 is hardly a terrible speed, so, you know, I can live with it. Absolutely rocket through Apsley. Hemel Hempstead is the next station. Oh yeah, I have also remembered something else that was a specific in his request. I'll do that after we go through Hemel Hempstead station. I don't know what that is signalling. Nothing is appearing on the HUD. I forgot to yeah, show the Hemel Hempstead station there. But yeah, he wanted me to use several of these angles. And yeah, he did point out that I used those angles in the steam train video that I did, which is true. I did do that, but there was a reason for it. I couldn't see where I was going if I didn't. So yeah, 115. Yeah, we are having to reduce our speed too. I've set it a little bit early, but yeah. While we are running in electric mode, the speed set will use the brakes to reduce our speed, but in diesel mode it won't. So if you're needing to reduce your speed and you set it through the speed set, then yeah, okay, fine, but you will have to brake yourself. So here we go, we are in the 115 mph zone. Take a look at us. So we bombing through Berkhamsted station. We're now back in a 125 zone, so yeah, up we go again. Now, I thought there was a yellow signal there, but no, it's the light that is likely to play a not insignificant role as we go along. And of course, across as the light gets worse. I mean, by the time we hit Birmingham, it's almost going to be dark, I think. Actually, well, it will certainly be well into dusk anyway. So Tring is the next station. So Milton Keynes is not far away. I think we have Bletchley and then we have Milton Keynes. So yeah, we are speeding again. As here we go through Tring Station. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of this particular view because it really does look like you're sticking your head out the window, which I guess is probably the point, but you know, I'm not all that struck on it. I was just about to say, we've been maintaining our 125 quite nicely. Okay, so Cheddington is next. So we have passed a fair few 221s. I have a feeling actually that a long distance run in a class 221 is probably, well, I think there's a good chance of it happening relatively soon. So here we are at Cheddington, fast catching up with this 350, although that 350 is stopping at this station, so that would explain why yeah, we were able to catch up with it so quickly. There's something else that the 801 has that this doesn't. The power, you know, the throttle is notched on the 801. On this one it's completely smooth. Personally, I prefer the notched power myself to completely 801, especially on HSTs. On regular trains, less so, especially if I'm in diesel locomotives. Then I prefer to have, like, yeah, the smooth, completely open throttle. Leighton Buzzard is the next station, so there's me saying, oh yeah, Milton Keynes is not too far away, and as is always the case, I was nowhere near. So we are going to need to slow down after we leave Leighton Buzzard. So yeah, we went over the neutral section there, but neutral sections don't cause anything like the sort of issue to these trains that they do on trains like the 86 and 87. So here we are through Leighton Buzzard there. So yeah, it's after Leighton Buzzard. The next station is Bletchley, and then I'm pretty sure after Bletchley it will be Milton Keynes, our first stop. So entering the 125 zone, now I can increase speed, not decrease it. So yep, we have started accelerating again. So already we have, well, according to the ETA, less than an hour to go. Now of course that ETA is not going to be including our stops, so we'll see what impact that has. So yeah, here is Bletchley coming up. Oh yes, we're certainly getting closer to dusk now. That is a really, that is really not helping. Yeah, being able to see upcoming signs one bit. Holy shit! So. At Bletchley station right here, so I am pretty certain that Milton Keynes is the next station, and that of course will be our first stop. I've not given the brakes on this loco anything like a decent test yet, so I have no idea what our stopping distance will need to be. I mean, obviously, as we are going to be braking from about 124 mph, we're going to need to brake at least fairly early. Yeah, here we are, Milton Keynes, so let's start braking. I will also turn off the speed set for now. Oh, these brakes look pretty good. Oh, we're down to 80 and Milton Keynes is still as near as damn it a mile away. I'm braking a bit early here. So yeah, the last quarter of a mile we are really crawling along towards the station. Okay. See if... No, I clicked the wrong button for the doors. There we go. Alright, let's do it as it should be now, yeah. There we go. So, yeah, passengers can get on and off. You know, sounds like it's a very short stop, yeah. Okay, right. Onwards, and we will now switch on the speed set again. So let's see how long it takes us to get back up to 125. And what speed are we doing by the time we leave the station? So we left the platform now and we were doing 38. I think we, yeah, certainly have a better acceleration rate in the original 801. This acceleration rate is certainly not terrible though. So our next stop is Rugby, and the reason we're stopping there is that is the station that people who want the part of the West Coast Main Line that goes via Stafford, or goes to Stafford, you know, via Nuneaton, that's where they need to get off. So I'm pretty sure it's a compulsory stop for every train on this line. Well, every passenger train anyway. It's also a good spot for Class 58s to derail, as I found out. So Wolverton is the next station. I'd like to think we would be into 3 figures by the time we get there. If I look out the other window, it actually gives us the view up above. So, yep, we are now at 100 as we approach Wolverton station. So Birmingham is, well, 60 miles away, so we have really rattled through this run. Even with that stop, we have yeah, it's barely 3/4 of an hour to Birmingham. We do only have 2 more stops, so we have the stop at Rugby and the stop at Birmingham International. I'm not sure how far after Milton Keynes Rugby is. Well, it's a disused station of some kind, I don't know which one. So we're up to 120, still accelerating. Fantastic sounds as we are accelerating. You do really get that sense of speed. Unfortunately, I did have to give this pack a bit of a helping hand there. The audio was not fantastic, so I downloaded a freeware audio enhancement for it as well. I've certainly given the 800 a fair bit of additional download features. Now I think we were going to still be accelerating, admittedly very slowly, but we were still accelerating at 55. Let's see if 51's alright. There's a neutral section. Yeah, you can see the lighting there showing us that the line voltage had been lost for about a second. But it was thanks to the addition of neutral sections that trains didn't really need regenerative braking anymore. It's still a useful thing to have. I don't think any trains that have regenerative braking will have had it, like, removed and replaced with something else. But yeah, it's not as important now as it used to be. So what we've got coming here is another, pretty sure it was a 221. Yeah, this light as dusk is continuing to approach is really not making it easy to spot distant signals. Now, it's fair to say this is not going to be a particularly great run as far as operational errors. I'm going to rack up, yeah, there's another one right there, quite a few speeding errors, and of course there was the SPAD right at the start, so yeah, in some ways you could certainly say this one has been a bit of a disaster, but at least I've not derailed, so it's certainly a downside better than the last time I was on this line. certainly see that the light is starting to fade a bit now. And this is why when I was setting the lights, instead of setting them to dim, even though it was daylight, yeah, I knew it was only going to be a matter of time before they would be needed far more urgently. I can't remember where the cab lights are. Oh, they're right there. I don't think I need them at the moment. So we have a speed decrease coming up, not much of one, only down to 120. Well, if I set it to that now, it is reducing us down to 120, and hopefully, there we go. Because it does seem to be that it's only at 125 that we are still, yeah, that we actually do get speeding errors. So hopefully 120 will be alright. Put it this way, we are about to find out. So here we are in the 120 zone. It looks pretty good so far. As it is, this speed drop does not last very long. We are up to 125 again in less than a mile and a half. So yeah, entering the 125 zone, we're now in it. Wrong gap to the next station. Well, I'm sure the next station must be Rugby. Neutral section again. You see the lighting there showing us going through. I do like the fact that the neutral sections do affect the train, even though this is a train that was not, we're talking game wise here, this train was not made specifically for this line, but the neutral sections still affect it. A very welcome feature, that. I mean, I can't deny that the Armstrong Powerhouse enhancement for the 801 is well done. It's the pricing that I really have issue with. I mean, I have more of an issue with the Alan Thompson stuff. His pricing makes Armstrong Powerhouse look like bargain basement. But yeah, I do not by any stretch of the imagination think that Armstrong Powerhouse pricing is reasonable. You've got a fair old length tunnel here. So yeah, speed limit drops to 110 the instant we entered the tunnel. But it does go back up to 105 more or less once we leave it. But we can't be that far away from Rugby Station now. So there is the trackside sign, 125 mph zone, and we are now in it. There's a Pendolino that goes by. Apparently there is a new improved version of the Pendolino due to start running on the UK lines. I think it's next year, so that'll be yeah, it'll be worth a look. It's very unlikely that it will come to Train Simulator Classic. It will probably come to Train Sim World. It will probably be Train Sim World 7 by then. Another neutral section is just gone through. It looks like a yellow. It is. And that's why. 60 mph, and yeah, it's Rugby Station. Let's turn off the speed set. There's a long gap between the visual AWS coming up and the actual audio alert sounding. I'll need to start braking a little bit harder. Okay, so here we are at Rugby Station. Certainly getting quite well, it's not completely dark yet, but it is certainly getting quite murky. So again, quite a short stop there. So off we go. Next stop is Birmingham International. So I'm not sure if we are going to have any more sort of 125 mph sections. Speed set is currently off. Once we enter that 75 mph section, I'll switch it back on again. We are entering it. Yeah, I mistimed the braking, so we're fine now. Speed set is back on again. So at the moment, the large sort of like main part of the West Coast main line is all sort of dealing with the junction that is taking it up to Stafford. We're on this small section here, which will then eventually get us back onto the main part of this sort of, I'll say, branch of the West Coast main line. So we've got over there, it's another 390. And we are now in a 125 mph zone, which I didn't even see. So once again, my powers of prediction, completely shite. So I'm pretty sure the next stop is Coventry, and of course once we're at Coventry station we are pretty much on the outskirts of Birmingham. So yeah, there is still just about enough light to be able to see the blue of the livery. I was hoping it would do the trackside one rather than the overhead one, but nope. I just saw that, just a fraction too late. Approaching 75 mph zone. Let's drop the speed set. Okay, so that is why, because approaching Coventry. There goes the Morpeth board for it. So we can now get our speed back up to 75 again. I mean, this is still a fair rate of speed to be going through Coventry Station. So yeah, here we are. Another 221 passing by. So yeah, that was Coventry. Canley Station coming up. FPS is taking a bit of a pounding, but they're entering a 95 zone. Now we are there. Soon entering 100. We may just about be able to set the speed set to 100 just as we reach Canley Station. Lighting is making it rather difficult to be able to see. So yeah, here is Canley. Yeah, the glare on this view is even more sort of like harsh than at this view. The Tile Hill is the next. So the speed set can stop us from speeding here. It looks like it's doing fine. Yeah, it's looking proper gloomy out here at the moment. The trouble is, it must be the game rendering, but when we enter Birmingham New Street, it always looks really gloomy in there. The lighting is really, really low. So here is Tile Hill. To put it mildly, that was quite the forgettable station. Another 221. Now is that Berkswell or Barkswell station that's coming up there? Another neutral section. So here, yeah, Berkswell station. We can now bump up the speed set to 110. Yeah, quite a steep downhill gradient coming up here. When I've not really paid any attention at all to gradients, because as I've said on quite a few occasions in previous videos, when you're doing like high speed runs, the gradients really don't matter too much. But let's hope that it doesn't result in us speeding. Because yeah, we're on a 1 in 130, and yeah, we were speeding there, so I'm going to take, yeah, have us, in fact, I'm going to put very slight brakes on. Okay, putting the brakes on was a bit excessive, so we'll just, won't put on any, throttle power just yet. Doesn't look like we're gaining speed. We're certainly not now because it's leveled out, so we can now throttle up again. Let speed set take us, actually we'll let the speed set take us to 100 because it's about to slow to that. So we're approaching Hampton in Arden station. Yep, when it comes to memorable stations, that was definitely not one of them. And next stop is Birmingham International. In fact, yeah, we'll keep coasting for now. I'll also turn off the speed set again for now, as we are going to be stopping here. I really do have no idea why this station is called Birmingham International. If anyone knows, then yeah, feel free to put it in the comments, because I have no clue. And the only thing I can think of that might make it international is because it's near Birmingham Airport. I can't remember if it's actually Birmingham Airport or if it's East Midlands Airport. Oh no, it'd be West Midlands, isn't it? So yeah, it must be like Birmingham Airport. But then why not name the station Birmingham Airport Station? Why has it got to be this slightly pompous Birmingham International station when there's really nothing sort of like international about it at all? It's not near any international borders. Okay, so here we are at Birmingham International Airport. Birmingham International Station. Again, a very short stop. The doors barely opened, and they will shut again. So, okay, here we go. Let's re-engage speed set and let it take us back up to the line speed, which is 100. So no more stops now until Birmingham New Street, but then that is only 8 miles away. I'd be interested to know if anyone watching this knows the answer to this, how far Birmingham New Street station is from Birmingham Moor Street. The station there. I mean, I'm assuming that Moor Street station is nowhere near as big as New Street station. Alright, Marston Green is half a mile away. Now that we don't have the glare from dusk and it really is getting closer to actual night time. Okay, so yeah, what there is left of the dusk is over there. Okay, so it looks like Birmingham International is called that because of the airport. So why not just call it Birmingham Airport Station? So Lee Hall is the next station. I can't imagine there are a huge number of stations between Birmingham International and New Street. I think there's about 4. So Stetchford here is the 3rd. So yeah, here we are at Lee Hall Station. Here we have Stetchford Station right here. Looking at that junction there, I'm wondering if that is perhaps heading off over to either Moore Street or Snow Hill. So Adderley Park, the next station. I'm thinking surely that's the last one before New Street. .65 mph line speed fast coming up. It doesn't take long before it then goes down again to 45, so I'm going to set the speed set to 45 straight away. Yeah, the entrance to New Street Station is a bit of a pain in the arse. You're going down quite a steep downward gradient as you go into the station. So here we are, yeah, Adderley Park right here. Does look very much like that was the last stop, because yeah, Birmingham New Street is fast approaching. So in fact, what I'm going to do is turn off the speed set altogether. We don't need that anymore. So we are making this final approach quite a bit slower than we perhaps really need to, but yeah, so we're in the 65 zone now. The 45 zone is about a quarter of a mile away, so yeah, we're going to be there pretty much any moment. So yeah, we're now in the 45 zone, and we're going to need to loosen more speed as we have 30, which is very quickly followed by 20 zones. On a 1 in 112 uphill. But now we're about to start the fairly steep downhill section, where not only do I need to lose my speed, but I've got to make sure it stays off. So we are platform 2B. We are now, 1 in 44 downhill. Double yellow here, which is fine. Well, it's now sort of levelling out to 1 in 66. Yeah, the brakes are notched. Well, yeah, that 10 was not labelled anywhere. I didn't see it anywhere in the track side. Obviously it certainly wasn't anywhere on the HUD display. There we got, well, yeah, it says our stop is at platform 2B, but that station, actually that, yeah, that looks like it's a red signal, so we can't stop at 2B. I think we are going to have to stop at 2A. Unless that, oh, okay, this yellow one here, that's us. That red one is, yeah, this signal here. So, in fact, it's not even that, it's for the other side. So yeah, we're on to our part of the platform now. So, yeah, okay, the train's going to be on partly platform A and B, but there we go. That is, or was, yep, London Euston to Birmingham New Street in the class 803, the Lumo liveried 803. Right, let's have a look at how many operational errors we made, because there are going to be plenty of them. So, yeah, the signal pass at danger, yeah, I did that right at the start, and then, yeah, 11 speeding issues. So, yeah, I clearly need a bit more practice with the old 803. But it was a great run. I think I got the time pretty much spot on, actually. It was as near as damn it daylight when we left. By the time we got there, we'd had the whole of dusk, and it was effectively, you know, it just become night time. So, yeah, I got the timing down right there. But yeah, great route, especially if you're in an HST. And there's no denying it. The 803 is a great train to drive. So there we go. That is that one done. So if you have a request, then click on the link in the description. It will take you to the video where I go through all of the locos and the routes that I have available. There's also a pinned comment there which gives all of the locos and routes that I have got since I made that video. So it is bang up to date, and if you see the route and stroke or loco that you want to see, bung your request in the comments and we'll get it done. But yeah, as for now, that is that one done, so we will see you at the next one.